Yo, what is up guys? It's Pedro here, and in today's video I'll be talking about Bieniemy and why he's bringing a totally different element to this offense already this offseason, why I think the offense will be much better in 2023. If you guys are new, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button and the notification bell as well. All those things help out a ton, and it takes just 3 seconds. So already, and this is a pre-recorded video. I'm recording this on May 13th. Will probably be out in the next week or so, but we've been through one day of minicamp and today is the second day. But we've heard a lot of great things about Bieniemy and how he is not letting his guys slack off. He is loud at practice, making his presence felt. Like John Keim says here, this is a play, after a play in the first day of minicamp, this is what he says. Bieniemy makes his presence felt, will get on guys for not finishing plays, barks at center Nolan Laufenberg to take control of the huddle. I also heard from a lot of fans who were there, because there were some fans that were saying, they were hearing Bieniemy chirp all of practice, something that we heard like from Chris Harris the last couple years, and players love Chris Harris. He got a little bit of a promotion, and he's gotten some defensive coordinator interviews, and they heard him all of practice chirping, getting on guys who weren't showing their full effort or not finishing plays. They said, or one fan said, they were talking about Chris Rodriguez, he was getting on Chris Rodriguez a little bit, and that is something that could happen. He could get on running backs a little bit more because he's a former running back himself, played in the NFL, was elite in college. So that's something to keep in mind. Like, he definitely could be a little bit harder and tougher on those running backs, but that's because he played that position. He knows that position more than others. Was a running backs coach for a very, very long time in the NFL, or NFL and college. He was a running backs coach for a while, so he has a great background in that position, and he's going to get on those guys for sure. Maybe Gibson as well, and Brian Robinson, but I don't think he's going to be so strict on him. But Brian Robinson in this video, not going to play it, but if you guys want to watch it, it's on the Commander's site, and I believe on the YouTube channel as well. It was an interview with Brian Robinson, and he talked about that Bieniemy brings a sense of credibility to DC, and he kind of alluded to that in the video, and it's just going from Scott Turner to Bieniemy is a huge difference. And we weren't hearing Scott Turner get on these players much in practice. Obviously, he's going to get on them a little bit, but not nearly as enough as Bieniemy will. And getting on these players, especially early on in practice, like, some of them might be a little bit frustrated, but allow them to not slack off and practice like they play. And possibly that's not something that we've been doing at times on offense the last few years, and that's partly why we've been a bad offense. I mean, obviously part of it is quarterback, but some of the things you can definitely control as a coordinator, and this is one: making sure your players are disciplined, making sure your guys are putting in 100% effort. So that is what he's doing this offseason so far, and this is only the first day of rookie mini camp, and we're hearing this, and I'm sure this is going to continue to happen. Like, he's going to be positive, but he's going to be making sure you're doing what you need to be doing, and this will better prepare our players for when they actually play. And I am with it. I love this approach by Bieniemy. I think it makes a lot of sense, and I hope he continues to do it. Something we've been missing for a while now, and we finally got it. And some guys don't like this. Some veterans don't like this, but it is what it is. Like, we have not won in a while, so we're going to switch things up. And I absolutely love it. It's a much needed change. And, Del Rio does it a little bit, not as much as I think Bieniemy will, but I'm liking both of our coordinators right now, but we'll have to see what they do. And one thing I'm excited for is how Bieniemy is going to use Antonio Gibson. Jerick McKinnon had 9 receiving touchdowns, which is as much as Kadarius Toney, Justin Watson, MVS, and Juju had combined. So, and that's more than Justin Jefferson, 2 more than Hill, and 3 more than DK Metcalf had all of last season. So, and that's probably a little bit of an outlier. Like, he's not going to have 9 receiving touchdowns every time, but I could see Gibson having 3, 4, 5, receiving touchdowns this year And like instead of having like 350 receiving yards, I could see him having 450, 500, maybe even more than that, because hopefully Eric Bieniemy will know how to use him because he's a weapon. He might not be the best, the absolute best pure running back, but in terms of talent, he has that talent, and I think they could use him a little bit better as an actual, pass catching running back, and not even just so simple, short routes. Like, I mean, I want him to actually run real wide receiver routes like he did at times last year against Jacksonville, against the Packers, where he actually ran kind of deep routes and it worked. That's what I want. I mean, obviously, you want him to catch some things in the backfield and behind the line of scrimmage because that's the majority of his catches. But give him one or two a game where he's, actually getting a target 7 to 10 yards down the field. That's what I want, and I'm excited for that, to see that happen and see the possibility of, Antonio Gibson in this offense. Like, the potential, I think, is there for him to be a elite pass catching back. Maybe not an elite pure running back, but they can still can be a solid runner. Maybe not as many carries, but I think as a pass catching back, he can be one of those top guys, and he could get paid in this offseason. Not a ton because he's running back, but he could get a decent amount of money if he's able to, get a decent amount of receiving yards this year. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. It's a short video, but just wanted to talk about how, we're hearing Eric Bieniemy a lot more in practice and how I think this will have a positive effect on the players. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe if you guys are new, and peace.